One man is dead following a rollover accident on I-70. We have the latest. Topeka fire crews helped save an elephant this morning, their heroic rescue. Plus, sports equipment can be expensive, but should young athletes be paying the price? Good evening and thank you for joining us for 13 News at 10. I'm Tiernan Shank. New tonight, one man is dead following a rollover wreck in Topeka. It happened just before 7 p.m. on I-70 just west of Rice Road. A truck was traveling eastbound when it rolled into a ditch. Shawnee County Dispatch says the driver was pronounced dead on the scene soon after. He was the only person in the car. This is an ongoing investigation. We'll keep you updated as information becomes available on WIBW.com. The Wabaunsee County Sheriff's Office says for the next 72 hours, the county is in a burn ban. They wrote on their Facebook page that it will be evaluated on a day-to-day basis. And speaking of burn bans, there's a fire weather watch for several Northeast Kansas communities tonight. Let's go to Peyton Sanders in the Weather Center with a look at how many people that will actually affect. Peyton?
Hi, Tiernan. Yes, we are looking at high fire danger across the area for tomorrow, and that is why the National Weather Service has issued a fire weather watch for the counties shaded in tan. The combination of low relative humidity, gusty winds, and the dry weather that we've seen recently will lead to very high fire danger for tomorrow. So outdoor burning not recommended. This watch includes, of course, Topeka, Emporia, and Manhattan. It's in effect through tomorrow afternoon and evening. Gusty winds, cooler temperatures, and partly cloudy skies as we head back to work and school on Monday. I'll be back with a look at the full 8-day forecast a little bit later.
Thanks, Peyton. The Topeka Fire Department and the zoo have been training together for years on life-saving techniques. 13 Cecilia Jenkins has more on how it saved the lives of one of the zoo's residents. Cecilia?
Well, Tiernan, members of the Animal Search and Rescue Team initiated the Down Elephant Protocol early this morning, and it saved the life of Shannon the elephant, who hours ago couldn't even stand alone.
It was a normal Sunday at the Topeka Zoo for visitors, but that wasn't the case just a few feet away.
There's always that moment when you walk in the barn where you're hoping that everything has gone okay overnight, and every time it always has, until this morning.
Elephant manager Kim Doman found their 35-year-old elephant Shannon unable to get up, which can be very dangerous for elephants her size.
Stuff can start pooling if they're not moving around enough, or their weight can actually cause them to have labored breathing and can somewhat crush them to death if they're down too long.
Luckily, the Zoo and Topeka Fire Department have been training for this exact moment through their geriatric elephant management plan.
We've lifted a lot of tires with the fire department, but we've never had to lift an elephant.
It's like, wow, this is exactly what we've been training for.
Within a few hours, Captain Todd Brown says Shannon was back on her feet.
We had straps under the animal to support the head and the front and hind quarters, and we gently lifted her to get her to where she could get her feet under and held her there for a period of time.
And everyone involved says being prepared saved Shannon's life.
If we hadn't planned for it, it would have been a much scarier ordeal.
It's rewarding. We train a lot, and we don't always get to see positive outcome.
Now, staff say Shannon did not show any signs of a problem yesterday, but they are keeping a close eye on her and running tests to make sure she's okay. And they are prepared if something like this happens again. Tiernan?
Thanks, Cecilia. A grass fire near Bishop Elementary School caused concern this afternoon. Shawnee County Dispatch says they got a call just before 4 p.m. about a possible fire in the 3600 block of Southwest 31st Street. Fire crews determined it was only a grass fire. They were able to put out the fire and no one was injured. The fire department also responded to a garage fire just before 6:30 this morning. It happened at 1220 Southwest Clay Street. Upon arrival, crews found a detached garage with smoke and flames showing. Firefighters were able to keep the fire contained. No one was injured, but the estimated total loss of the fire is around $3,000. The cause is still under investigation. The fire department says no working smoke detectors were present in the garage at the time of the fire. A water main break this morning shut off water to homes in Topeka. The water main break occurred on the 3100 block of Southwest 11th Street. It is the third water main break this weekend. Crews worked for 6 hours to repair the break, leaving around 20 homes without water. Officials say that the water main break is the beginning of a very busy season for the utilities department. They also added that the cause of the water main break is the change in weather.
We've had a pretty moderate winter so far. But we have just recently seen some lower temperatures, and I'd be willing to bet that's the cause of it.
Officials ask anyone who experiences a water break in the future to remain patient as the city works on getting the water back up and running. The city of Topeka is eyeing a possible rate increase for utilities, and they want to make sure the public is aware of it. Members of the city's utility department held an informational meeting Saturday to answer any questions and hear what comments residents might have about utility projects and needs. The utilities department say the city is requesting a 6% increase for 2018 and a 5% increase for 2019 and 2020. That includes water, wastewater, and stormwater rates. It is estimated the average resident using 5,000 gallons a month would see a total utility rate increase of a little more than $4 a month. The city says the fee increase would go towards upgrading infrastructure. Gift cards can seem like a perfect option for someone on your list that's hard to buy for. Still, the Better Business Bureau has these tips so you don't get scammed when giving or receiving cards. They say carefully examine the card and its packaging for evidence of tampering. Look for cards in thick plastic casing and make sure the PIN number hasn't been exposed and no protective stickers have been removed. Save the receipt when you purchase the card and give it to the recipient. That way, if the card is stolen, a replacement might be issued to the store. Do not give any personal information when you purchase a gift card. No reputable company will ask you for that information. Carefully read the card's conditions and check the expiration date. If the card expired, the company might honor it or reverse the fees. And finally, use the gift card quickly. Stashing it away can mean forgetting, and millions of dollars are lost every year by cards that are not redeemed. Everyone, make sure you're using those. Topeka's new city manager will interview applicants to be the city's next police chief this week, and he wants your input. The city has set up a special webpage and email address for residents to let city manager Brent Trout know what they want to see in their next police chief. The city says the new chief will lead a staff that includes 300 sworn officers. Topeka's last permanent chief, James Brown, left in January. Interim chief Chris Kramer retired on November 3rd and was replaced by current interim chief Bill Cochran. The city did not release a timeline for the search, but says the public will have a chance to meet the finalists. We posted a link where you can find the webpage and the email. That email is next, tpdchief@topeka.org. If you didn't catch that, don't worry. We have that on WIBW.com. Topekans got in their cars and drove through the manger tonight. The First Lutheran Church held a drive-through living nativity. Attendees drove through 7 live scenes with music and real animals, recreating the story and true meaning of Christmas. Organizers say it's been a several month-long process to put the event together.
The beginning of God's story on earth, and whenever he came to earth, and it's important for our congregation to be able to share that with our community.
Adults and children both played parts in the nativity scenes. The Washburn Music Department hosted their annual Holiday Vespers concert tonight. Take a quick listen to this holiday favorite. The Washburn Choir, Singers, and Orchestra helped ring in the holiday season with traditional songs and melodies at White Concert Hall. Vespers at Washburn is a holiday tradition dating back to the college's founding. The event was open to the public. Where you can find Harvester's free mobile pantry and local holiday entertainment. 13's Reagan Porter has more in your week ahead.
Hello, everyone. A Riley County police officer deals with college students on and off duty. Officer Pate is in charge of keeping people safe both in Aggieville and on the rugby field. 13's Juan Cisneros explains in Monday's Salute the Badge. On Tuesday, Harvester's free mobile food pantry will be at the Kansas Expo Center. That's at 9 a.m. No ID or proof of income is required. On Wednesday, get into the holiday spirit and create a snow tree painting at Straight Up Creative Studio in Manhattan. The class starts at 6 p.m. and is $30. Supplies are included. On Thursday, experience The Hunchback of Notre Dame at 7 p.m. Topeka Civic Theater is the first community theater in the country to be licensed to perform this musical. Tickets start at about $30 online. On Friday, the Kansas Expo Center hosts the Next Generation Fire on Ice Tour for one night only. See the biggest names in professional motorcycle ice racing at 7:30 p.m. Tickets start at $20 for adults and $8 for kids. On Saturday, local and national restaurants will compete at the Kansas Expo Center in the 2017 Wing Fling. For just $20 in advance and $25 at the door, there's all-you-can-eat wings, live music, and a big screen. And don't forget, you can catch Chris Fisher and me weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. on 13 News This Morning. That's your week ahead. I'm Reagan Porter. Have a great week.
Thanks, Reagan. Sports equipment and gear get expensive for competitive athletes. Why swimming is trying to maybe ban expensive swimsuits for their young swimmers. And a week after the wildfires started in California, a new wave of flames is making its way through more of the state. Why firefighters are forcing hundreds more to evacuate. Coming up on 13 News.
You're watching 13 News at 10 with Tiernan Shank. 13 News, Kansas News Leader. This is your 13 weather forecast with Peyton Sanders.
Glad to have you with us here on this Sunday night, ending a very mild day across the area today. In fact, it was warmer than parts of Florida here in northeast Kansas. Look at the high in Orlando today, 57, Concordia, Manhattan, Emporia, Topeka, and also Lawrence, all in the 60s this afternoon. Warmer than Florida in December here in Kansas. Very mild today. Tomorrow, though, it is going to be turning cooler. Our highs are back to the 50s, which is still above average for this time of year, just not quite as warm as we saw on this Sunday. And out the door tomorrow morning, starting at the new work and school week, you'll probably want the jacket, maybe even the coat, because temperatures will be right near freezing with mostly clear skies. Calm winds, though, but the winds do pick up for tomorrow afternoon. We're looking at some big changes on the way, and it's in part due to the storm system that we're tracking right now, just moving south across southern Canada right now, about to push into the Dakotas. Unfortunately, notice all of the rain and snow. The moisture that we could definitely use stays to our northeast tonight, but the colder air arrives as this cold front works its way into the area tomorrow morning. Behind the front, cooler temperatures arrive, a cooler air mass on the way as we move on through the day Monday. And behind the front as well, you're going to notice some very gusty winds tomorrow in full force out of the northwest. Winds tomorrow afternoon gusting between 30 and 40 miles per hour. And you combine these gusty winds with that low relative humidity, that does mean high fire danger for tomorrow. Outdoor burning not expected to be a good thing for tomorrow. So no outdoor burning due to the gusty winds and all this dry weather that we've seen recently. Behind the front tomorrow as well, we can say goodbye to the 60s. It is going to be a cooler day tomorrow. All of us with highs in the 50s. The farther south you go, it will be warmer though. Then the cold air continues to settle in by the time we hit tomorrow night. Here we go Tuesday morning. You can see temperatures in the 20s. And by Tuesday, it's going to be chilly. Highs in the 40s with a light westerly wind. Lower 40s farther east, but you go farther west, Manhattan Clay Center could hit the upper 40s for Tuesday, so we are in for some chillier days as we move on to start this upcoming work week. And many of you have been asking on Facebook, just when can we see any sort of chance for rain or snow, because it has been very dry recently. Looking at the precipitation probability into the next week or two, looks like it's very likely that we're going to continue with below average precipitation. We do not have any chance for rain or snow in our 8-day forecast. And it also looks like we're going to continue with more stretches of dry and warm December weather. Above average temperatures likely across much of the Central Plains into the week ahead. So very warm weather likely going to be continuing as we move on into the next couple of weeks. So for your commute tomorrow morning, it's a green car on the People's Insurance Group Road Risk Index. We'll have mostly clear skies and cold temperatures. Your forecast tonight, these will be the numbers out the door tomorrow morning. Into the lower 30s with the light west wind, mostly clear skies. Tomorrow, cooler farther north, low 50s for areas near the Kansas-Nebraska border, 53 for the high in Seneca, 54 in Topeka. We'll top out a little bit warmer farther south, 59 degrees for our high in Burlington. And a look at the 8-day forecast shows dry weather, but above average temperatures into the week ahead. We're cool again on Thursday with a high of 43, but then we stay pretty mild. Looking ahead to next weekend already, looks partly cloudy and dry with highs in the mid-50s.
Buying the best sports equipment for your child has become its own sport. In fact, it's a $15.5 billion industry. Swimming plays a big role, and parents are dropping more than $500 on high-tech suits to try and shave time. Swim chapters in a handful of states have started banning them for swimmers 12 and under. Meg Oliver explains.
In a graceful sport consumed with speed, swimmers are always looking for that extra edge.
This is my first junior nationals, and my mom is like, this is the biggest meet of your life. Like, I'm gonna get you a new tech suit.
15-year-old Malia Mills believes her high-tech swimsuit shaved 2 seconds off her time at junior nationals, an eternity in swimming.
It's basically like another layer of skin. It's very, very tight, and it's really hard to get on.
Matt Farrell is with USA Swimming. He's concerned swimmers younger than 12 are relying more on technology and less on training.
What's the pressure like among parents to buy these high-tech suits?
There's just a natural competitiveness in youth sports and any activity. It just creates a parental arms race.
That competition became so intense, swim chapters around the country started banning high-tech suits for younger swimmers a few months ago. Southern California led the way, followed by Arkansas, Maine, New England, New Jersey, and South Carolina.
High-tech suits actually repel water.
Absolutely.
In August, USA Swimming hired independent consultant Stu Isaac to determine if a nationwide ban is needed to level the lanes.
When the water is on it,
off.
It runs right off, and you can see it.
Completely dry.
Yes.
So how much faster can that make you in the water?
It reduces the drag. It's just not absorbing the water. And when it doesn't absorb the water, it doesn't change your density.
Part of the debate also involves money. The suits range in price from $100 to $549. Parents like Laura Buning held out for as long as she could.
It would feel wrong to send her to a big competition where everyone else is wearing this suit and she isn't.
So you felt pressure to buy one?
Yes, very much so.
We asked a group of young swimmers about a possible ban.
Not very happy.
Why?
Because I already have one and I don't want to waste it.
USA Swimming will announce their decision on a possible nationwide ban in February. Meg Oliver, CBS News, Indianapolis.
Almost 100 years after the groundbreaking, a Christian monument is complete. How they modernize this decade-long project next on 13 News.
You're watching 13 News, Kansas News Leader.
Firefighters continue to fight the wildfires that are ravaging Southern California and Santa Barbara County today. Forecasters are reporting that dry, gusty winds will continue for at least one more day in the area, furthering threatening places affected by the fires. Firefighters ordered hundreds of more residents out of their homes this morning, many not knowing if their properties will still be standing when they return. Across the entire Southern California region, wildfires have devoured nearly 800 homes and other structures. More than 170,000 acres have been burned in just a week. The fire began on Monday in Santa Paula, California, but high winds and low humidity early on helped it spread rapidly. The special Senate election in Alabama is 2 days away, and the race is tightening between Republican Roy Moore and Democrat Doug Jones. Moore is under fire for sexual misconduct allegation, which he denies, saying he never acted inappropriately. President Donald Trump has endorsed the former Alabama judge. Jones and Moore are currently neck and neck at the polls. Most statewide Republican office holders in Alabama say they're voting for Roy Moore for U.S. Senate, including Governor Kay Ivey. Almost 100 years after the groundbreaking, the National Shrine of Immaculate Conception's Basilica is complete in Washington, D.C. It features mosaic depiction of Catholic saints and millions of pieces of Venetian glass and gold. The original design for the basilica was commissioned in 1953. Since then, artists have added more recent saints such as John Paul II and Mother Teresa of Calcutta. The dedication of the dome not only signifies the completion of the basilica, but also begins preparations for the 100th anniversary of the shrine. Coming up in sports, what Andy Reid thought of his team's attitude in their win over the Raiders. And Bill Self gives this year's Jayhawk team a distinction they surely don't want. And later, those galloping in this horse race through London went straight to the pubs. There you can see them.
13 Sports with Jonathan Deutsch.
The Kansas City Chiefs have not played a complete game since the night before Halloween against the Broncos. Well, that is until today, when the offense, the defense, and the special teams all clicking for the Chiefs' Kingdom, a rivalry game this afternoon at Arrowhead. 5 minutes in, Harrison Butker connects from 53 yards out. This one right down the middle. He finished 4 for 4 on the day. First play of the second quarter now from the 1-yard line. Kareem Hunt punches it in. He reached the 1,000-yard mark for the season in this game. He also rushed for 100 yards in a game for the first time since Week 5. Early second quarter, Alex Smith dropping dimes to Albert Wilson on the near sideline, who makes a great catch with a defender right on him. That drive would end in a field goal. Now it's Derek Carr's turn looking to throw, but he's hit by Chris Jones. The ball pops up. Terrence Moore has the GPS on it. He gets the interception. Chiefs take over. That INT would lead to an FG, a field goal. Chiefs up 16-0 at halftime. Third quarter, Sharkandrick West first showing off the agility, then showing off the muscle, then a nice little spin move as he fights his way into the end zone. The Raiders would add 2 scores late for the Chiefs in their 4-game losing streak and take it 26-15.
One thing, I thought everybody rallied together and supported each other. Not that they haven't before, but if something didn't go quite right, they were all in there, and they made a point to do that.
I mean, a little bit. I think of it's kind of just been the journey of the season. I mean, to play the way we know we can play early on, and then, you know, a little bit to get challenged and to have a rough patch, but to kind of find our way out of it. I think guys have that confidence now, kind of how we work, how we operate.
It's hard to lose in the National Football League. Sometimes you get into that washing machine where you're going around and around and you're hoping for something good to happen. If it doesn't, you get a little bit down. So there was none of that. They just pounded all the way through.
On Friday night, a water valve malfunction flooded the concourse at Allen Fieldhouse. 2 days later, today, the Sun Devils mopped the floor with the Jayhawks. A Sunday matinee against 16th-ranked Arizona State, and the Jayhawks exploded out of the gate. Devontae Graham up top to Udoka Azubuike for the and-one alley-oop. Next time down, Graham going a little long distance on the oop to LeGerald Vick. He led KU with 25 points. Then after a steal in transition, Graham to Svi Mikhailuk with a little drop pass to Malik Newman. He drains it. KU opened this one on a 15-2 run. But Arizona State would battle back. It's 18-12 when Trey Holder curls, gets in the lane, and finishes. He led the way with 29 points. And Arizona State again this time from the outside, way downtown on this one. 3 Sun Devils combined to score 72 points in the game. Tie game, second half, Romello White in the paint gets the and one to give ASU their first lead, and that would start a 15-0 run for Arizona State as they get the easy bucket here on the inbounds pass. So let's fast forward, 6 minutes left. KU down 9. They cut it to 6 as Svi made his first shot of the day. He was 3 of 11 from deep. Arizona State, though, answering quickly as Shannon Evans is outside pump fake, and then he drains the 3. Evans would get one more from the logo this time. The Jayhawks fall 95-85. Bill Self says the issue is just a matter of toughness.
This is the softest team that Kansas has had since I've been here. And a lot of that is experience. A lot of it is youth. A lot of it is just the way that we're physically built and the way that our skill set is. But the bottom line is we have got to become tougher on that end. And when I say soft, I throw that term around a lot. But, you know, I don't know how else you could describe, you know, the last 4 halves we played if you don't say that.
KU has lost back-to-back games for the first time since 2013. Guys?
Well, an unusually warm day in Northeast Kansas again,
yes.
And very dry, right?
Yeah, warmer than Florida today across the area. That goes away tomorrow. It'll be cold overnight, upper 20s and lower 30s for lows under mostly clear skies. Tomorrow, 50s, so we can say goodbye to the 60s for a little while. Partly cloudy skies, and winds are going to be very gusty out of the northwest, gusting up to around 40 miles per hour tomorrow afternoon. Here's the 8-day forecast. Tuesday and Thursday are the chilly days this week with highs in the 40s. Then into next weekend, staying mild, well above average with highs in the mid-50s.
Crowds of people took to the streets of London today for the London Pantomime Horse Race. Around 20 pairs of people dressed up in costumes, many of them in cow or horse outfits, of course, and raced a quarter of a mile through the streets, taking pit stops at various pubs on their way towards the finish line. The teams were made up of paired runners, with one wearing the head and the other the back end of the costume. Just really a great way for them to run around the city and then hit up the pubs in a true British way.
Do you put the faster person on the front legs or the back legs?
Oh, back legs.
Back legs? All right. There you go.
Thanks for joining us for 13 News at 10. Join us again tomorrow morning.
The latest news, weather, and sports at WIBW.com or follow WIBW on Twitter, Facebook, and our mobile app. Thank you for making 13 News the most watched evening newscast.